We're joined by Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings. Welcome, Greg. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
What's your take on the situation?
This is interesting. It's interesting that we're even talking about something outside or other than football when it comes to the New England Patriots, specifically this time of year. They keep a really close camp, quiet camp. Nothing ever really gets leaked out. Nothing ever is the topic of discussion other than football. And so when I look at this, I say, I have to raise an eyebrow to it because there has to be something going on to where these stories are being put out there. Of course, they're going to send the message of everything is great. This is who they are. This is what they do. This is what you have to do. The focus is winning games, winning playoff games, and getting another championship there in New England. So I get all of that. What we've seen over the course of this year has been very uncharacteristic of the New England Patriots, with Jimmy Garoppolo's situation, with the lack of really command that Bill Belichick has had over the course of his time there with the organization of running it. It's been, as we've seen, this has not been his number one choice with Garoppolo, with everything that's kind of going on. This has not been the way he typically runs things, with holding on to players, whether it's Tom Brady or whoever. He likes to make sure that he has the next guy in place to move on. He plays chess like the best chess players in the world. He's not going to make a move spontaneously or instinctively. He has already thought it out, planned it out, and is going to move that way. And this has not been what he's been accustomed to. And so I think there is some tension there. I think they can definitely, when you say a riff, I don't know about a riff, but there's definitely some working tension in the New England camp because of all of what has transpired and because of the lack of control that Belichick has been able to have when it comes to Brady and his future. We all know what he's brought to that organization and what he means. But at the end of the day, Belichick isn't about an individual player. He's about the team. And so when I look at all of what's going on, we know the relationship between Tom Brady and Robert Kraft has always been great. It's always been great. And from the eye, the relationship between all three of them has always been great. But when you start talking about running the organization a certain way and you're not allowing Belichick to do that, he's not for that. So I think there is something there to be lending an ear to.
I'm not surprised because it's what they do. They come on, everybody put on a brave face. Tom Brady says he has a great relationship with Mr. Kraft. He does. Oh, he loves playing for Coach Belichick. There's no other coach he would rather play for. But I believe there is some tension because, Skip, this is the first time in 18 years that Mr. Kraft usurped his head coach. Because, and this is what we know, when you're making decisions about these type quarterbacks or in another situation, the Kaepernick situation, that goes to the owner.
Yep.
This goes to the owner. When they made the decision to go with Steve Young as opposed to Joe Montana, that went upstairs. That wasn't just a head coach. That went upstairs.
Sure.
When they made the move to go to Aaron Rodgers from Brett Favre, that went upstairs. That wasn't Mike McCarthy.
Yep.
Skip, they traded Jimmy. This is what we know about Coach Belichick. If you follow this game and you study the New England Patriots, this man will leave no stone unturned in his preparation. He prepares his team for every situation. So when it comes up, they're not the least bit surprised. You mean to tell me Coach Belichick was willing to trade a backup that he believed was going to be the bridge to the future from Tom Brady to Jimmy Garoppolo for the future? You're going to trade him mid-season when you got a Super Bowl title. Now, Tom Brady gets hurt, and you're out of this thing, and Garoppolo, I get it. Skip, you're not trading Jimmy Garoppolo during the season. Someone gave him an ultimatum. This is you will. He got to go.
Yep.
Coach Belichick ain't trading no Jimmy Garoppolo when you could have traded him in the offseason and got probably 2 first-rounders or a first and a third at worst-case scenario. You're going to trade him during the season, and you trying to tell me of something. Because think about it, Skip. There's no question in my mind that at worst-case scenario, the Eagles would be equally as favored if they had Carson Wentz. They dropped them all the way down. They below the Falcons now. Falcons are favorites. So we know what a quarterback represents, especially in the playoffs. And Coach Belichick was willing to trade the guy he thought was going to be the bridge for him into the future. Traded in midseason, not negotiated. We'll take a second rounder for Jimmy Garoppolo. Normally, teams call you. What you want for Jimmy? Hey, I'm gonna give you $500 for that mug, Skip. Okay. There's something going on here. Because Skip, all the things they could have said, how did they know that Brady was upset about not getting Patriot of the Week? Of all the things, how do people know? Everybody don't even, a lot of times people don't even know that they give these awards out. Why would he be up? Oh, we never had, so let me get this right. You had no meeting. There was no 4-hour meeting about Jimmy Garoppolo. So Coach Belichick just said, okay, we trading Jimmy. Really, Mr. Kraft? Now we know you know, but now don't insult our intelligence up here. We know Coach Belichick. Coach Belichick is too methodical. He's too late. Everything is step by step by step. And you want us to believe, Skip, that all of a sudden Coach Belichick woke up one morning and said, you know what, I'm trading Jimmy Garoppolo, the guy that he thought was going to be the bridge to the future. No way, no how. But they did exactly what I thought they would do. Put on this brave face and say, kumbaya, kumbaya. In other words, come by here, my Lord, come by here. But we know that's not the case. But I tell you what they will do. They'll go out there and play the tails off on Saturday. And you're not careful, they'll be hosting up the Lombardi Trophy again.
That is correct. So, very predictably, and I'll go to commendably, we just saw the New England Patriots do what they do best off the football field. They close ranks. They're all pro at closing ranks.
Yep.
They're all pro at practicing damage control, as in united we stand.
Yep.
Put pride aside, united we stand. None of this will get out. We will close all leaks from this point forward. And to your point, Robert Kraft did an interview that I think ran Sunday on Monday Morning Quarterback with Peter King, in which he just flat out denied that meeting took place. So he's saying that the ESPN report by Seth Wickersham has one big lie in the middle of it, one big fabrication. Baloney. I'm sorry. There are too many details. I'm going to put my money on Seth Wickersham's piece because he has detail about 2 weeks before the draft that Belichick met with the owner, and it went on for hours that went half a day. And he even had the detail that Belichick had to push back a bunch of appointments because it went on and on and on. And in that meeting, says Seth Wickersham in his reporting, a clear mandate was delivered to Bill Belichick. You will trade Jimmy Garoppolo, and you will look for the next quarterback in the draft. Period. End of story. An order was issued. And that it left Belichick, according to Seth Wickersham, angry and disillusioned. Those are the two words. I'm sorry, Mr. Kraft. I got to go there. I'm going to lean this way. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to take this to my bank. And I'm going to say what I said on Friday once again, that Bill Belichick reacted, angry and disillusioned, by sabotaging the franchise going forward. You're going to make me trade him? Watch what I do. I'm going to give him away to a young man I have now mentored, Kyle Shanahan, because I liked the father so much, and the father stood up for me during Spygate.
Correct.
Mike Shanahan, for whom you played.
Yep.
And at the Combine, there was the detail from Seth Wickersham that Bill met with Kyle Shanahan for hours to talk about what went wrong in the Super Bowl. Let me show you what happened. That's outrageous. It's out of bounds. It's out of line. But that's what the report was. Yeah. So in the end, Mr. Kraft privately...
How would he know that, though, Skip? Nobody else knew that. No one else knew that Coach Belichick met with Kyle Shanahan.
Exactly. I told you this story smacked of coming from Belichick's camp, or maybe even straight from Bill himself, and maybe second or third hand from Bill himself.
You ain't hear from me. But let me tell you what happened.
Let me tell you what happened. Because I'm going to buy it. I'm going to take it to my personal bank. All of the above. And in the end, the guy who Robert Kraft should be furious with is the head coach, because he turned on him, and then he'd already given away Jacoby Brissett, basically, for Philip Dorsett, he was a bust in Indy, and he's been pretty much a bust for the Patriots, right? Yeah. Okay, that's a quarterback now, and I'm not saying he's a starter, but I think he's a pretty quality backup quarterback, and those don't grow on trees, so you just gave him away for Philip Dorsett. Really?
Head up.
Wow, interesting.
Who trading quarterbacks head up?
Okay.
You don't do that in this league.
And if you want to blame a story on somebody, I think if you read between all the lines and all the tea leaves, it feels like it came mostly from the head coach. So, and I don't blame Tom Brady for saying publicly, we have a great relationship. Well, that means a great working relationship. Because
Exactly.
they always have. They have no personal relationship that I've ever heard of.
Right.
Okay? So, again, I called it predictable and commendable because they're going to just close ranks and deny
Right.
because they're the favorites, man. What are you going to do?
Right.
They understand
Yeah.
what their goal is and their focus is right now. But what's interesting about all of this is you talk about a coach in an organization that has never really shown ego or who has never really allowed players to have personal egos to trump the team. And you look at what Belichick has done, this is ego. This is his ego. This is him saying, look, this is what I've done for you as an owner. This is what I've created. And now you're trying to tell me how to run things?
And we always said we wouldn't let personal feelings get involved. Mr. Kraft let his personal relationship with Tom Brady get involved of business decision.
He did.
Coach Belichick always would do business decisions. But here's one, Skip. How about this here? If Josh McDaniels doesn't take one of these jobs that's available, I can see him coaching the New England Patriots
Okay,
next year
good.
and Coach Belichick walking away.
Okay, that's possible.
And going to get that quarter of a bill. Because if John Gruden got $100 million, somebody about to get Coach Belichick a quarter of a bill.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.